Well, thank you for having me. As Jason said, I'm Chad Leverick with Alliance Energy in Saskatoon. We like to call our business a business of families rather than a family business, just because there's a number of different families that are involved, and so we use a little different terminology. But I'm here today to speak on behalf of National and to give you a little update on the work that we're doing. I have the honor of serving your chapter as part of our region, of the Prairie region, for the board of directors for National. Both Regina and Saskatoon have really led the way over the last, I'd say, 10 years of being some of the strongest chapters in the country, and we want to continue that leadership role. Our other chapter that's involved in this Prairie region is Manitoba, which is Winnipeg. They have some really strong members, but they've had some struggles that they're dealing with, but we're hoping that they can move forward and continue to grow. I want you all to know, and everyone in your chapter to know, that my door is open, so to speak. You can call, email, any way you want to get a hold of me. It's fine. Lori should have my contact info if you don't, and I'm happy to speak on your behalf. As you guys know, we had a little change in the governance, so Ron is no longer on the national board, so your local rep would be myself. Again, I just thank you for having us here, and I'll just go through a couple quick slides. You can go to the next one if you want. So CAFE has been helping business families succeed by facilitating and sharing of knowledge and information for the last 30 years. We have a new board and a new strategic plan to grow the association, make it relevant for business families for the next 30 years. As you know, we had a governance change, a structure change. The new board has some bench strength that we didn't have in the past, and we believe that that's going to move us in a positive direction. There's some at-large members, and those members, one of them's a marketing expert, there's a lawyer, and some different things that we didn't have in the past, and that's really, it's been beneficial in our discussions, in our strategic planning. It made a big difference having some marketing experts. We were doing our best before, but none of us really had that experience that they have, so it's made a big difference. You can go to the next one. So at our board meeting last November, we detailed a strong strategic plan with 4 key objectives, and you'll see them on there. I believe they're on the website as well. Essentially, we need to grow the membership base. We need to get a critical mass so that we can keep moving forward and sustain the way we are. We have a really great team at National with Paul and his staff, and they're doing some really great things, but in order to facilitate them going forward, we just need a few more numbers. So that's one of our key goals. As you can see, just brand awareness, and the other 2 as well. So basically, that's our goal, is to increase these 4 initiatives. The next slide shows a little bit more detail. This is more of a graphical analysis, and this is on the website as well. It's a little tough to read, but we have our vision and mission and the 4 pillars and kind of some of the broad range of plans that we're thinking that we'll use to achieve those goals. At any point, if you have a question, just raise your hand. I'm happy to answer anything. We can go to the next slide as well. CAFE has introduced some new initiatives over the last year and programs. I'd like to share a few with you. As you know, the PEG is our cornerstone. We believe in CAFE. It's our strongest value proposition, and so we're reinvesting. I think your chapter would have got the new PEG manuals. I saw some back there. There's going to be some rollout, some training that goes along with that over the next 24 months. Mr. Regina, who developed the manual, will be coming out to each chapter and delivering some trainer to hopefully the whole PEGs, but if nothing else, at least to the moderators, just to help deal with this new book and maybe make the PEGs more viable and stronger. We're doing some webinars and some training workshops coming up late this year, and there's some videos as well. Last year, how this came to be, actually, there was a PEG task force last year, and they came up with 4 recommendations to make the PEG experience stronger, and so we implemented many of those and going forward. So that's where that book came from and some of those different items that we're working on. Last year, we launched a series of monthly family webinars. Hope you've been able to log into a few. If you've missed them for any reason, they are on the website. There's some upcoming ones here over the next few months. They're well done, and I highly recommend, if you have a chance, just to log in. It's very easy. You just log in wherever you are, and you can watch them. The next slide, please. So one of the new programs Cafe is offering, it's called the Family Business Day Forum, and this is the event today is somewhat modeled after that concept. Very similar to TED Talks, if anyone's seen those before in the U.S. Basically 15 to 18 minute presentations that are video recorded, and they are up on the website, and if we had web access you could actually click that and you'd see it, but if you go on the website at any time you can see all the past participants. Really great feedback from that event. Toronto started it. I think they've held 2, and I think the 3rd one's coming up right away here. And our long-term vision is that some will roll this out across the country and have a canned format and help the local chapters come up with some speakers in the local area. And we're thinking in the long term that this would be every other year, because we have symposium year right now is biannual, and we're hoping that this would fill in those gap years. So if you're interested at all, you can see what their vision of it is in Toronto, and this is a very similar setup today that you guys are having. One of our objectives is to form cooperative alliances, and these are a few that we've made this year, and we're working with other groups to continue to promote the Cafe brand to a wider audience. I think that's part of our struggle is just brand awareness, and it's amazing how many family businesses you meet and talk to, and they haven't heard of us for some reason. And my personal opinion is, I'm in construction, and if you open a construction company, you join the Construction Association. Essentially every company in construction does that. But we self-identify that we're construction, and we seek that out on our own. The challenge I think that family business has is that generally I don't think that a typical family business person understands that they are different in some ways. We all face the same business challenges, so you can join the Chamber of Commerce or all those different associations where every business faces the similar issues, but only family businesses have Sunday dinner with the other shareholders, or Christmas, or all those other issues. And when the issues come up, obviously you do have different challenges, and the challenge for us is to somehow reach out to that group so that they self-identify, that they realize that there are some differences, and that they should have some information or access to some knowledge base that can help them go through good and bad times, and help them go through some of the struggles or the positives that we face as family businesses. So another way we're trying to broaden that brand awareness is through the social media. So there's the Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and coming soon Facebook. We encourage you to look and follow on Twitter, and join on LinkedIn, and join the discussion if you can. So symposium, I know you guys held this, I believe it would have been 4 years ago if I'm right. You guys were right in front of Ottawa, I believe, and it's an awesome event. If any of you were there, I'm sure you'll have great stories about it. I got to experience the Ottawa event and was really blown away by not only the speakers were wonderful, but it was just the sharing outside of the actual event itself that really struck me. I've been to a lot of conferences, and this was no different. There were some really good speakers. But the big difference was actually going out and socially meeting with the other families, and just how open and honest they are. It's just it's absolutely amazing. Much different than in my other world in the construction side, where we may go out in a conference, but everyone's really guarded and they're not really sharing anything. At Cafe, it was absolutely blown away. I was very early on the board at that point, but they're literally offering you, here's my home number. If you ever experience something like whatever story they just shared, phone me at home. I'll discuss it, and it's just wildly different than anything I'd ever been to. So I highly encourage you to consider attending. This year's in Vancouver, as it says up there. They've got some really great speakers. I think they just announced 4 of them this morning, actually, in a email. But the Wealthy Barber is one of the keynotes. From Dragon's Den. I know you guys had a different Dragon's Den guy out last year, which was a big success, but they got the Wealthy Barber. I think his name's David Chilton, I believe, if I'm correct. So yeah, he's one of the keynotes, and they'll have some other great speakers at that. Symposium offers a great opportunity for all sorts of businesses to get their brand out in front of family businesses from across the country. So we highly encourage people to consider sponsoring and also attending the event. And just in closing, again, I'd like to thank you and thank your board and your volunteers and your committee, whoever put this event on, for inviting me and putting on an event like this. And we really encourage you to keep doing what you're doing and keep the vibrancy of your chapter going forward, and best of luck.